Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies. Time to do a little packet talk as we get ready for the upcoming draft about a month or so away. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee, co-host of the Wendy's Big Show weekday afternoons from 2 until 6. He, of course, Gery Woelfel, columnist here at the Racine Journal-Times. Gary, this Packer football team is in a situation again where you have a hole at middle linebacker, Sam Barrington, and nobody, because A.J. Hawk and Brad Jones have both signed with teams. You now have a hole at cornerback because Tremont Williams is gone, as is Devon House. So Casey Hayward now is the starting corner, which means Micah Hyde slides in to play the slot, and that's where it is right now. And there's really not a lot of depth behind that. It's unproven guys behind those guys.
I think Ted Thompson has taken a monumental gamble on the quarterback situation. And usually he covers his bases. I mean, he has something in mind. And I wrote a column about this the other day. My perspective is he's going to get that cornerback through the draft.
Okay.
And I've talked to a few scouts that I know, and they claim there's 4 or 5 defensive backs that will go late first, early second, and none of them had any doubts that if Thompson does want a cornerback, there's going to be a decent cornerback there. It's a pretty good cornerback draft.
See, I think, well, I love Peters from Washington, Marcus Peters, but I think...
You don't have to rap on him, though. It's
character.
Big time issues.
I know.
Some guys have even taken him off the board, I've heard. So.
Well, I draft him. But if
you
I'm
are such a character guy.
I have to a degree, but if I'm Ted, knowing what you need, I think he trades out of the first round. I think day one of the draft gets done in Chicago that Thursday night, and the Packers don't make a pick because
I think that would be a major mistake. They got to get the best cornerback. That is.
But Gary, if you're telling me there's 5 guys between the end of 1 and start of 2,
right.
If it gets to me, there's still 3 or 4 guys, and somebody in the first 5 or 7 picks wants to move up in the second round, I'll move back and still get one of them.
Okay, that is if they're of equal value. I mean, there's 4 or 5 guys now. If there's like 1 or 2 guys that are head and shoulders above that,
well, that's different.
Right, exactly. To me, they have to fill it. I mean, if you don't have good cornerbacks in the NFL today, you're in a world.
Do you remember what Ron Wolf did back in the day? It was Antoine Edwards.
Won a Super Bowl.
Then Fred Vincent, who they traded for Amon Green.
Right.
And then they went and got Mike McKenzie. Were his first 3 picks in the NFL draft. Corner, and said, one of these are going to work.
You know what? And I wouldn't dismiss that theory, although they have other needs right now.
But this is the issue. Where is it? Is it middle linebacker or is it corner? Because there's already talk of, well, maybe Clay Matthews just play more inside linebacker, and we'll let Nick Perry and Mike Neal play more outside linebacker. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't mind that in spots.
I'm totally opposed to that.
I don't mind that in spots, but he's your best pass rusher. He needs to be outside.
He's not a physical guy, and when he gets wrapped up with a guard or a tackle, he's useless. His gift is that he can pursue plays. He can make plays in the open field. But if he gets caught up in traffic, he's useless.
See, and the argument that they'll make is, look, we can move him all around the field. I can move him inside. I can blitz him from inside. I can move him outside. And their run defense got considerably better when Clay Matthews played. But by the end of last year, he wasn't playing in the middle nearly as much as he was for those first 2 games when they unleashed the pack.
And the other thing is he's not a big guy to begin with.
Right.
And if you're playing inside, you're just going to take hit after hit after hit. It doesn't make any sense for the Packers to do that. They got to get a cornerback. If they don't come out of the draft with a cornerback in the first round, I think they're in trouble.
See, and my issue is they need linebackers and a lot of middle linebackers because they don't have any. And
I agree with that too.
There's only one, that kid from Mississippi or whatever, that's going to be there at the end of 1 probably. And then other than that, there's not a bunch after that.
That's where I'd be shocked if they didn't take one in the second, third round. Okay. I mean, they have to address
middle linebacker is this is a horrible draft for middle linebacker.
But I mean, that's in hindsight, it looks like it would have been a stupid move. But that's why I was advocating them taking Borland last year to plug in inside. Right. And now Borland, of course, is retired. But they need an inside linebacker. And my gut feeling is, like I said, it's going to be maybe a second, third round pick.
I think Ted trades back a lot in this draft. I just do. I think he'll trade back multiple times and get as many picks as he can out of this and end up coming out of that draft with 10 or 11 guys. And a lot of them will be linebackers. And you'll get a couple corners to go with that. And that's how they're going to play.
One quick thing on the draft. I was talking to a scout yesterday. He said a guy in his organization, a fellow scout, had Melvin Gordon as the best player in the draft.
Good. That's what I say, too. I agree.
You agree with him?
I've been saying that for weeks.
It's really interesting to see where he's going to end up. What's your gut feeling on that?
San Diego.
So later in the first round.
Middle first round?
Middle first, yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody's going to pull the trigger in the top 12. I got that feeling. But then again, he could fall late first round.
I would have no problem with it.
Cowboys.
Cleveland's got multiple picks. Cleveland should do it.
After Cowboys got rid of DeMarco Murray, to me it's like he's all written,
Yep. He's Gery Woelfel. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Sports Junkies, a little pack of talk here at RacinSportsZone.com.